down.
Hey, Chris.
Hello, Robert. How are you?
I'm great. How about yourself?
I'm brilliant. I'm drinking sparkling water, which is beautifully refreshing. Looking on to a beautiful sunset.
I'm having my early morning coffee right here.
I'm sure you're not drinking coffee, Robert.
Yeah. Coffee.
I would say it's more likely being some sort of liqueur.
It's coffee. It's in a coffee mug.
It's
one of those sippy cups.
Oh,
I got a sippy cup.
A Heidi cup, as they call them. Is it opaque? Can you see through it?
It's it's like one of those anodized, like fake anodized coffee cups.
Good. That's a
the little sippy cup thing on it.
So you can hide what's in it. I like it. I like your style. Rob, how many stories we got this week?
I got one.
Bring your A game, he says, and he brings his J game.
I got one important... I got two.
Okay. I have a load.
And yourself, Chris?
I have tons.
You have tons?
Tons. Let's see where we go.
Literally tons.
Literally tons. I don't know why I haven't done this before, but I've discovered...
What, focus?
Huh?
Focus?
Focus. Yeah, there's been an element of focus this week.
You're going to be in focus?
I'm so nervous, Rob, at the focus. I don't know what's going on. How can I do what I do and not focus video? Dear. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
So, Chris, this is what, May 14th?
Yeah.
What are we at?
No, 15th.
Something like that? 15th?
I think so.
We're in the middle of May.
Yeah.
We've been basically in lockdown for 14 months.
Not long enough, Rob. I'd go another 14 months.
Well, to be quite honest, Chris...
it's coming.
Monday is the 17th.
Yeah.
And BJ has said that everybody can hug and kiss on Monday.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Well,
I think he's totally forgotten about
the Indian,
the Brazilian,
the
Indian, the South African, and all the other strains. Mm-hmm. Because you need to remember that all of those are strains that aren't affected by this vaccine.
Well, they're now saying they are, but of course aren't they going to say that?
Who has said that? Has the WHO has said that? No.
Well, no. It's not the WHO, it's some scientists.
So we are basically back to March of 2020 right now.
No, I know, yeah.
Yeah. And everybody, I'm glad I work in the film and TV commercial advertising industry because everybody's being very good and very safe about things.
Very careful.
Yep. And you can call people out on set and people are polite. Yeah. You call them out politely and they agree and everything's good and that's all great. And that's amazing.
You don't wear your mask.
But I feel very sorry about all those people in other industries that aren't taking it as serious as the film and TV industry are.
It's very true, Rob. It's very true. Yep. And the thing is, it's not a light subject. I'm tested every other day. If you don't wear your mask, you're not on set. If you don't wear your color-coded vest, you're not on set. If you're within a meter or two of the talent, you have different grades of mask. It's it's a proper setup. But you're right, there are those other places. I feel sorry for people in Sainsbury's.
Yeah.
There's never been I've never seen anybody wearing masks in there, really.
In Sainsbury's?
Yeah, but I don't mean maybe.
I thought Sainsbury's was the good one. I thought Tesco was the bad
one. Maybe I have. Maybe I'm just forgetting what it was like at the height. Is that your story? That's not your story. That's not one of your stories, is it? You've fallen back on the COVID stories.
No.
I hope not.
You want my first story? How many stories do you have?
A couple. They're all interlinked under an arching umbrella.
Well, my first story. Sony has announced.
Oh no, not another one.
Yeah.
What?
They have announced the release date of their new 70-200 2.8 Mark II lens.
Oh, brilliant. Just as I bought
It's coming in at £1,799. Just under 1,800 pounds.
No.
And it is supposed to be, it can resolve all the way up to 100 megapixels.
Do you know what, Rob? I don't care. I don't need it.
It is so sharp. And
it couldn't be sharper. It couldn't be sharper than the one they already have.
Yeah. It's sharper than the one they already have. And it has 8 stops of IBIS.
Oh.
So the
I don't understand what that is.
That's the stabilization within the lens itself.
I bought, I bought one, but I don't even know what that. I don't know what the 2 buttons at the side do. I don't know what the GeeMaster button does.
It is amazing. I've already put my down payment on one.
Good for you. I think you need one because you really used your last one.
Yeah.
Is that your story?
Yeah, I wanted to hear your response.
I think it's a great thing that Sony have done that, but they're going to do it eventually anyway.
I'm teasing you.
I know you are, buddy. And you know what? I have no need. I know you are because I read about this last.
Chris purchased my 70-200 because I wasn't using it enough. I will buy the new 70-200 Mark II when it comes out later this summer.
Will you? Will you really?
Yeah.
Why? Do you need it? You sold me yours because you didn't use it.
I did use the last one.
I use it
but you just hounded me so much about it for the one that I had to give
it up. It's never off my camera. It's the workhorse now.
That's great, Chris. Good.
It's beautiful. Well, it's never off on it.
It is a beautiful lens.
It
really
is. It's a delight. It'll be with me for many, many minutes. That's for sure. It's it's good. It's an all-rounder, isn't it? I just have to, you know what, I haven't even...
Yeah, it's hard to do architecture with it, but
yeah, well...
Interiors is a little difficult.
Well, I'm doing...
But it works, but...
I'm doing a lot of portraits with it, so it's tickety-boo. It's good not to be in somebody's proximity. I mean, we can stand back a bit. And
no, what you've shown me with it looks amazing. Yeah, it looks great. Good stuff, dude.
I'm really, I have to say, it's a game changer for me, to be honest with you. Will I tell you my story, Rob?
Surely.
Even though you've made one up. Okay. I am talking about Source magazine. Thinking through photography.
That's John? Is that John?
John Duncan. The hero that is John Duncan. Steadfastly making our lives better through...
He's been doing that, for like 30 years now?
100, I think it's 100 years.
That's amazing.
It's a long
Good
time.
For him. That is so amazing.
And you know what? They've changed the format, of course, but it's intelligent, focused, thinking on photography. I don't know why I haven't talked about it before, because I buy it all the time. I buy it every time it's out, and it is just absolute. This is spring 2021, okay, and it's it's a delight. I got up this morning, downstairs with the boys, made a cup of coffee, sat back, the boys played, and I read a few stories in Source magazine, and it felt like an old-fashioned Sunday. It just felt beautiful. But I want to talk with it. There's a few things in it. Okay, well, there's more than a few things in it. You would be reading it for, I don't know, if you depends what you want to look at. But it's...
Are you rubbing against something there, Chris?
No, I'm clicking a page.
I can hear something.
Oh, it's maybe my. Let me just wrap my mic around this.
Whooshing back.
Yeah, it was my mic. Yeah, it's awesome, Rob. And my stories come from Source today because I want people to be supportive of John and Source magazine, but also it's one of those places you go that is just sublime. The stories, you're rarely disappointed, and you're always finding out new names, new works. They have a really good book review at the back, which is never overly sympathetic to works that don't come up to scratch. So you get a good, honest review of the whole thing. What do you think of that?
Great.
And on that, if I expand a little on that and go to one of the reviews, and it's are you requesting a video call?
Yeah, I want to see what you're rubbing against.
There's nothing rubbing there. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and talk.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead. Keep talking.
I don't like you're looking at me. It freaks me out. I can't see you. You're thumb over the camera. It's weird.
I might thumb over the camera.
You're thumbing over your camera. I can't see your face.
See it right here.
Ugh. Oh, that doesn't look good. Is that your thumb? I hope it's your thumb. There's nothing's jiggling now. Look. You still hear it?
Oh, it's your iPhone microphone against your jacket. Your black jacket there.
There. How's that? I'll be very careful now.
More gooder.
I'll be gooder. Okay, so I'll actually pull it out here. How's that there? It's Jörg J-O-R-G. I never know how to pronounce things. Jörg Colberg, who I'm a fan of. The writing's just always top class. But we have photography's Neoliberal Realism. And it's £7 or £8. What's it? Well, it says £7 one and £8 another. It's from Mac, and it's if you like this, this will get your gander up. Photography's neoliberalism, realism is an indispensable contribution to photography's theory at a time when digitalisation continues to have a significant effect on the states of photography as a discrete medium, demanding even higher levels of visual literacy. Okay, and that's from Burlington Contemporary. But what we get is we get dear old Jörg confronting the work of widely celebrated photographers Annie Leibovitz, Gregory Crewston, and Andreas Gursky. Photography Neoliberalism examines how these artists produce capitalism's equivalent to the Soviet Union's socialist realism by giving photographic form to widely held and rarely questioned beliefs and ideas. What do you think of that? Promoting capitalism, old Annie.
Did he say that in one breath?
Well, I don't know. I said it in about 10 breaths because I was getting a wee bit panicky.
Jesus.
Listen to this. I'm buying it. I am £8. I am buying this. It looks beautiful. That's always important, of course. But this is an extended essay that provides an alternative reading to the photographic works laden with artifice and argues how focusing on this artifice misses the more far-reaching ways such images operate in our visual economy. Rob, you know what you are? You're a keeper.
What?
You're a keeper-upper of the state. You're Maggie Thatcher's rent boy. Is what you are.
Ew.
I'm telling you, that's what he's saying. In a kind of a way. We'll investigate this further. This is one I think that'll entertain everybody.
Yeah.
Neoliberal realism. Check that. No, you didn't think you got up today and talk about that, did you?
That's a lot of words, a lot of syllables.
A lot of syllables, and you know I'm brilliant at reading anyway. So, but it.
I mean, what do you want? What do you like? Oh, Jesus.
I knew this would get
Annie Leibovitz, Gregory Crewdson, Gursky. Okay, that's what they do for a living. They sell photography.
But listen to this, Rob. Listen to this. This is the bit I like.
It's not anything new. It's not anything. It's been around for 150, 200 years.
But listen to this. This is brilliant, right? This is brilliant.
No, not 200 years, but 150.
150. Similarly, Gursky's, whose work is said to evoke a capitalist world in which individuals are reduced to insignificance by the scale of global economic forces, is for Colberg neither observer nor critic, but capitalism's chief of police, convincing his audience that resistance is futile. What a beautiful way of looking at Gursky's work.
Dude, like even within that first sentence, it just went to total BS.
No.
Repeat the first sentence. No, repeat the first sentence.
God,
repeat the first sentence.
I have a cough. Come on. Think of that. Have to be careful.
I hear that.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't cough in your mic again. read the sentence again.
Gursky's? Okay, similarly, Gursky's, whose work is said to evoke a capitalist world in which individuals are reduced to insignificance by a scale of global economic forces. I get that.
Stop. Okay, stop.
Think of Gursky's work.
Show me the evidence where Gursky's work is that. Becomes like this evidence of capitalism and all this stuff.
Well, because of the scale. No. It's the scale of the thing. It's the scale of the thing.
The scale of putting people against the landscape?
No.
What? No.
The pieces by DOS where there's like 40,000 people in a room, tiny little machine men with machine minds. It's like what I'm doing there. I'm quoting Charlie Chaplin. But you see what I'm saying? Think about that. What a beautiful way of rethinking stuff. I'm as bad as you. TV and film, my God. I'm an upholder of, not as bad as you actually, I'm slightly better. The upholder of neoliberalism. Realism. Realism.
I've lost my microphone, so I'm going to the camera mic now.
What's happened to your microphone, Rob?
Oh, you know.
We're cursed by batteries. We're cursed by professionalism, aren't we?
Yeah, try to do it better than everybody else. Batteries die.
Do you know what we are? We're kind of the Tommy Cooper of photographic podcasts. And I like that.
Who's Tommy Cooper?
Who's Tommy Cooper? You need a kick in the nuts, my man. Who's Tommy Cooper? Only the greatest comedian ever.
Not since public school.
Not since public school. He's only the funniest man ever born. You do know who Tommy Cooper is. Wears a fez. Big old lad. Died on stage. They thought his dying was part of his act. Yeah. Everybody kept laughing. Very sad.
Oh, I think I remember that.
Big lump of a man. Always did tricks that never worked out. Kind of like us in many respects. You know what I mean? The focus jarring in and out, the sound disappearing, the stories, maybe not as edgy as they could be. I might wear a wee fez. I have worn a fez, I think, in this before. I might go back to the fez.
You've worn the fez before.
What a podcast this is from neoliberal realism. I suppose, actually, in a sense.
You know what? I don't fall for that, Chris. I really don't.
But that's the beautiful thing. That's the beautiful thing, Rob. That's the beautiful thing. You don't have to, isn't it? But I think for me to think of Cruzen's work.
I can look at Annie Leibovitz' work. I can look at Cruzen's work. I can look at Andreas Gursky's work. I like them all. I like them all in different levels.
It's not to dislike, it's to understand.
No.
Think of that.
I can understand them at different levels. Mm-hmm. But to say that they're like pandering to like neo-capitalistic ideals separating the state away from the individuals, dude.
It's an interesting way. It's an interesting angle. It's an interesting perspective. Lisztsky, one of my favorite artists of all time, Lisztsky, and his Soviet images, and promoting, we don't look at that in a negative sense now. There's no negativity about that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I think these are just things that I just like to be engaged with that, because now whenever I'm talking about Gursky to students, I can indeed bring a wee touch of that in. I never thought about it. It never crossed my mind. You know why? Because I'm not bright enough to think about things that got out of the blue. There was a time, maybe taking a wee bit of LSD, maybe something like that might have edged in. You'd have wept, moved on. £8, but the best £8 I'll spend this month, I'd say.
And that's Source?
The reviews in Source, yeah. The reviews in the back. There's a few good reviews. Nice one about landscape as well, but we're not going to that. But it's just I just love it. I love that sort of discourse. I love moving into stuff like that and having that think. There you go.
Cool.
Well, I'm intending to do a PhD. I have to think like that. I need to think along those lines. PhD. I know, Rob. I know. D.
Do what you need to do.
I do need to do it. I have a burning in me.
If it makes you happy.
I have a burning in my soul for it. I've had for a while.
If it makes you happy.
I genuinely miss the night that, the Masters was fantastic for that. I genuinely miss all that stuff. My camera, why would that be on? I was going to waste my battery.
You know what I miss, Chris?
What do you miss, Rob?
And what I probably think educates me as much as you going back to university to learn your master's is sitting down with like-minded photographers and creative people and spilling the beans.
Oh, the beans.
And talking about, what you're doing, what your ideas are, brainstorming about stuff.
No, I agree.
Like, that's what I miss. That's what I really miss. And that's what expands my mind.
But listen to this.
To sit in a classroom, maybe a classroom of 4 people, maybe a classroom of 30 people, and to listen to somebody who just graduated and has become an instructor, at the same place that he just graduated, a year later.
Yeah.
And he's trying to tell, me and the rest of the classroom about grandiose ideas of, neo-capitalistic ideas of, Jesus, dude, just tell me what you're doing, what your ideas are, and let's brainstorm and let's think of other ideas.
Listen, my dear friend Terence Seaman, dear old Terence Seaman, I remember years ago whenever I hadn't a clue, well, I still don't have much of a clue, but I have a bit more of a clue than I did then. And he was saying to me, he was buying me the Guardian supplements with Susan Sontag in it, and it was saying, read this. This'll maybe pique some interest in you. I know, and I would read it, and I would find it very, very interesting, very interesting. But there was always a bit kind of lacking. The conversational part of that was lacking because I didn't hang about with photographers. And he said, imagine sitting in a room with, Sontag, Leibovitz, Gursky, and having a fictional conversation with them, knowing their voice, knowing what they're into. And of course, by doing that, you have to go and look at their work and come up with your own ideas. And that for me was my kind of sitting with other photographers. Now, of course, after the Masters is over, I have a great cohort of guys, that I go down to Dublin with once a year, and we do just exactly that. We go fishing. I don't really fish, to be honest with you. But
good.
But what we do, we go and inflict pain on we animals that don't deserve it. But before we do that, or while we're doing it, the conversation is, we're spaced, 20 feet apart. We meet up for tea. We have a drink that night. We have a bonfire, and we do that. We just discuss our what we're planning on doing with our photography, how we're everything to do with it, what we're doing to make money, all that sort of stuff. And it is just an apps. I look forward to it. I always say to them, it's my holiday of the year. This one day, 2 nights, and it really is just an education. It sure is. But I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, that sort of stuff. But that's why I said it, to try and get you riled up. Get you riled up, to annoy you, to get you talking about neoliberal realism. Eh? Look at you. But that can lead into, let's say, I'm doing some iconics in a couple of weeks. Okay. That sort of stuff can play into my thoughts for that. Do you know what I mean?
What are iconics?
Sorry, poster images for
gallery.
Yeah, for TV and film. Yeah, so
gallery stuff. Yeah.
So you're doing that. I'm doing one that's pretty much worked out, but I've been asked to come up with other concepts for other ones, and it's. That's
great.
I know, but I find
that's nice.
Yeah, it is nice.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. But this stuff's good for me because it gives it a bit of depth. You start thinking about things in a. I was actually talking to one of the executive producers. A great chat, very, very interesting chat for about 15 minutes while I was meant to be working. Then I realised who I was talking to and had to move away quickly. but I talked about characters within this thing I'm doing, and it was a great conversation. It was a great insight how things are written, because I never think of the back end of this stuff. I go and do my job and focus clearly on that. But the characters, how the characters can evoke certain eras, not even certain feelings. You know what I mean? Somebody from a certain age can bring with them all the stuff from that age. It was brilliant anyway. Mm-hmm. So what I'm doing now is I'm just trying to fill these interesting bags of information, so it makes me a better photographer. There you go. Let's do some let's do some neoliberal realism, you and I. Let's get out there and do it. What's that, Chewy? You really want to help me? You'd rather get your
Jesus.
I know. And also, listen. I also have to say, there's a.
Would you hang it on your wall?
You know what?
If you want to hang it on your wall, and you feel strongly about it,
mm-hmm.
you could hang it on your wall for 20 years, 30 years.
Yeah.
Then that's cool.
But nobody hangs.
If you can't hang it on your wall, then forget it.
But nobody hangs yours.
It's something else. Yeah, but
something
different.
What I'm saying to myself, and that's okay. You know, people do hang my stuff, the stuff I make on walls. You know, most of the stuff I like yourself, most of the stuff that I work on, it's kind of fish and chip paper in a sense. I don't mean that in a bad sense, but I mean it has a.
I agree.
It has a definitive lifespan mostly. So we're making work that's not. Trite's the wrong word, because that demeans what we're doing, but it's not what we do mainly to make money. Isn't fine art for sure. You know what I mean? So in a sense,
28 minutes.
In a sense, we're keeping that capitalist stream alive. Jeez, we're capitalists, Rob. You and I. We're dirty, money grabbing capitalists.
We're not capitalists. We're just surviving, dude. It's not capitalism.
Within a system. Within a system.
No, within a system.
We're aiding the system. We're aiding the system. Within a system. Those advertisements, those pictures
we're not
we do.
aiding it. It's just what we do. It's what we do. What the system does with it, that's up to that. This is what we do. We put it out there.
Wouldn't get you out of jail, that.
You do with it.
Wouldn't get you out of jail, that sentence. Wouldn't get you out of jail.
Okay, you got any more stories?
Yeah, Well, I'm going to say very briefly about the source.
We're at 2840.
The graduate online photography. If anybody doesn't know it and doesn't go into it, get in and look. I'm not sure the 2021's up yet. It'll come up soon, I'm sure. But it gives you. There's a lovely catalogue of student work going back years. Get in, and it's all sectioned for landscape and portrait and all sorts of stuff. So get in there and support Source, support John's in his mighty work.
Definitely.
£8.
Who deserves it?
Who deserves it? No shit, Sherlock.
John.
Yeah, no, I'm saying he does deserve it. But also, they do lunches now. They do the lunch for the magazine where they have conversations, and I haven't been partaking in that because I've been busy.
5, 4.
Support.
3,
Support.
2,
I love you, Rob.
1.
Love you, Rob.